Happy Sabbath, everyone. Welcome to our Sabbath inspiration here at Judah Foundation. I'm excited to allow all of you on to be on today. Come on in, share the page, like this page, and we are encouraging you on today. With that being said, you can email us at judahfoundation08@gmail.com. Send in us your prayer requests, send us your feedback, and guess what? We want to hear from you because this is all about you. This is not about me. It's not about us here, the leadership. It's all about souls and impacting and healing, reaching souls here. So I want to welcome all of you on today. And guess what? We are encouraging you. Today, it's going to be an interesting topic today. Listen, as I say all the time, Line of Judah, we are not a church. We're more than a church. We are an outreach ministry. So some of the topics we're going to be talking about, certain things that we're going to be discussing may not necessarily be quote unquote religious as some deep folks want it to be. No, we want to get on the people's level. We want to get on your level. Those of you all out there that, just want people to be real. It's not sugarcoating stuff. Get talking about topics that's really going to challenge people in a way of not pulling them away from God, but challenging people in the way of bringing them closer to God and let them know it's okay. It's okay to feel like this. It's okay to question. It's okay to think the way you think. Guess what? We are here. And there's a prime example of Leading Gentleman, how he does his podcast. It's on the ministry page. He has his own podcast. You can go on his Facebook page, but we do this on purpose on the ministry page because we are more than a church. We want to be different. And I will say, if you're not up to be challenged, if you're not up to have difficult conversations that's going to challenge your belief, challenge the way you have been taught, challenge the way you think, then it's okay that certain topics you may just log off. But today, it's going to be a topic that I'm just going to warn you. Some of you all may not like it. Some of you all may log off. And some of you all just may stay on and probably voice your opinion. But I ask that every opinion that you voice, please be respectful. Please, because I don't have time for foolishness and nonsense. I don't have time for ignorance. We don't. We want to respect everyone's opinions. Like I said, email us, judahfoundation08@gmail.com. if you want more in-depth conversation. And please let the conversations be respectful. But today, it's going to be an interesting topic. It's something that I was blown away when God placed it on my heart to discuss. But it's real. It's real. And some may not agree, and some will. But if you agree or disagree, let's be on the same page of it's okay to disagree. It's okay. I'm going to be sharing certain things that's probably going to challenge some of you all that's probably been in a religious entity for some years. It's going to challenge you all what you've been taught or what you believe for all these years. Because when I tell you it challenged me right now, I'm in school, seminary. It's challenging. It's challenging what I've been taught. But before, I don't want to get into all of that. But I'm sharing just bits and pieces of what I'm learning and what I am experiencing with some of my credentials of helping people, life coaching and counseling. It's blessing a lot of people. So today I'm just gonna share a snippet of what I've been sharing and or what I've been given to me, and I believe what I've been blessed. I like to share with others. But today, the topic is going to be: should Christians or non-Christian Christians or marriage couples entertain open relationships or open marriage? Now, whether we want to believe it or not, a lot of people's doing it. Whether they are publicly professing that they're doing it or they're doing it privately. And you will be surprised a lot of people in the church is doing it. And the four walls is doing it. And guess what? I'm not trying to get in nobody's bedroom. So let me make that clear. I'm not trying to get in people's business. I'm not trying to dictate what should or should not go in someone's bedroom. What you do behind closed doors, that's your business. Like I said, I'm the real deal. I'm not trying to get in nobody's bedroom, but I just want to bring awareness because there's been a lot of people personally coming to me that are indwelling in that, and it's some has a successful rate and some don't. Um, but just to make it clear, I'm like, this needs to be taught. This does not need to be sugarcoated anymore. So that's what I'm going to be sharing with you all on today. It's going to prick you, but like I said, if this is something that you don't want to hear, you can log off right now. It's not going to offend me. I'm not going to get all of my feelings or emotions. It is what it is. But if you stay on, please be respectful to other people's comments that are commenting, that may comment. Please be respectful. Do not say anything derogatory. If you say anything derogatory, you will be blocked and deleted off this page. I'm making that clear. We want everybody to be feel free and liberated about their opinions, about their thoughts. We don't want to shut anyone down. But at the end of the day, please be respectful. So I'm just going out here in the deep, and just share. But it's going to be encouraging to you, and it's going to be encouraging, hopefully, to someone that you may know. Share the video to somebody that you may know that may be in it, and that's kind of contemplating to be in it. So with that being said, let's go. So what is an open marriage? Now, marriage and relationships, my belief is totally different. You know, if you're married, it's a covenant between you and the individual and God. If you are just in a relationship, yeah, there is commitment. Yeah, there should be some type of trust, but I'm not going to put that on the status of a marriage, because marriage, that's a whole different ball game. When you're married, you got to check in, check out. Pretty much everything that you do around your spouse, you got to consult 100% around your spouse concerning even what to eat, where to go, what to do, everything. So that's on a whole different ballgame. Relationships, yeah, serious, but not on the level of a marriage. So today I'm going to be focused on marriages. But you can also, if you're looking to be married or currently in a relationship or striving to be married, this may help you may avoid some hurdles that you may cross. So open marriage is marriage without any boundaries. To sum it all up, open marriage is a marriage without any boundaries. Why would somebody want to be in an open marriage? The reason why is to be fulfilled one's needs. So that person, the person that you may be with, or the individual may be with, may not be fulfilling a need with someone. Your spouse, that spouse may not be feeling that need, or that individual spouse may not be feeling the other spouse's need. Some may participate in open marriages. Some may think it's going to bring them more joy, more pleasure, more satisfaction in the bedroom. Now I'm gonna try to keep it PG. I'm not gonna try to get graphic. So when you hear me say bedrooms, I may say sessions. May have a sessions between the two people. I'm gonna call it like that, having a session, or where satisfaction, or where the other spouse may not give. Or they may may one participate in an open relationship marriage. That other individual may be complete, satisfying all the needs than what their spouse is not doing. When we think of open marriages, some may think just pleasure or having sex or having a session with someone, but it could go deeper than that. It could be going on dates with somebody else. It could be sharing personal, deep feelings or thoughts with somebody else, that you would share with your spouse. I'm gonna go on a percentage of open marriages. Open marriages have a 92% failure rate. I'm gonna say that again. Open marriages has a 92% failure rate. 80% of people in open marriages experience jealous of other people. Now, I don't know if some of you all have watched the series. I can't remember. I think it was on Prime or Tubi. One of them, of the show, of the movie called The Past, where that was created by Candy, the girl of Real Housewives of Atlanta. She produced and wrote the movie. But if you look at it, it's called the past. You can go and look at it if you want. Um, the couple end up having a past, which means they gave each other. You could sleep with somebody with one night, or you can have a relationship with a woman. That's it. They had set boundaries with one night. After that one night, you cannot communicate with that person anymore. You cannot call that person. It's over. So do what you want to do just for that one night with that person, and that's it. Now, how many times, if you currently in an open marriage or open relationship, or if you know somebody, how many times does that work? Statistics just says 92% of marriages fail with having an open marriage. It fails. Why? And I'm going to get in some biblical aspects of why, but whether you agree with it or not, it fails. So with that being said, we set boundaries. Okay, I'm going to give you a pass. So whatever reason, you all communicated, so you can go out and have a relationship with somebody else for 30 minutes or a day, but after that, that's over. How many times does that work? And you set boundaries. 9 times in 10, it may work, but most of the time, it's not going to work. Why? Because it's spiritual. It's spiritual. Marriage. So when we define marriage, like I said, it's a covenant. But when you are married, you should have open communication with your spouse. You will be surprised how many married people does not have communication. I'm not talking about, oh, sweetheart, I'm going to work. Do you need anything from the store? I'm not talking about communication. I'm talking about communication from you having these deep rooted feelings, good and the bad. Communications where if you even think about stepping out, sweetheart, we need to have a talk because this is how I'm feeling. This is how I'm feeling. You'll be surprised how many couples been together for some years and really don't have strong foundation communication. If you have strong foundation communication, I'm not going to say the individual may not going to cheat, but it may lower the rate of people cheating. Why? Because you have a communication. That means when you want to have a communication with your spouse, you have to make the atmosphere in your home comfortable for your spouse to come to you, or for that individual to come, or you go to your spouse. If that atmosphere is not comfortable enough, you're not going to have that strong, deep-rooted communication. I don't care what the topic is in that communication, even if you feel like cheating, stepping out, if you losing desire, let's sit down and talk. Let's have a couch conversation. With that being said, can you have conversations like that? Or if your spouse comes to you, they feel like cheating, they feel like stepping out, or they feel like, you're outgrowing, without you flipping off the handles, and without you, screaming, hollering, cussing, and why you feeling like this? I do all this work, and I spend all this money, and Well, that's why I say make the atmosphere comfortable for your spouse or for the two people to talk without flying off the handles. Okay, it may be hard for you to digest of what your spouse just came, but okay, let's talk about it. And this should happen way before someone step out, way before someone cheat, way before someone else have desire of somebody else. No, before that happens, day one, marriage, communication. Now, my marriage may not be as great as someone else's communication. Why? It's process. It takes work. It takes growth. It takes maturity. It takes experience in life. I'm not negating or neglecting people that's been married in 20, 21, 22. Be honest, that's very, 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 very young and early to be married. And you wondered why when that person's in their teens, late teens, early 20s get married and later on they cheat. Why? Because they haven't experienced life. They haven't mingled. They haven't singled and mingled. your eye was on one person, and you're like, oh yeah, let's get married, but you didn't mingle. And I'm gonna get to that later on. But with marriage is communication. First, my belief, God is the center of it, but communication. Now, it's okay when you are in a marriage, it's okay to redefine your marriage. Me and my husband does that all the time. We redefine our marriage. What works for us? What works best for us? What does not work best for us? Let's experience this. Let's try this. If this don't work, then okay, let's put that down. If that worked, let's keep that. Let's do it for 90 days. Let's try this out. For 90 days, let's come back together, talk about it. Okay, sweetheart, how did this go? And how did that go? Oh, it didn't work so well. But when you kick in having an open marriage and redefining your marriage, then let me show you the possibility of what could happen. Okay, sweetheart, let's have an open marriage for 90 days. And after 90 days, we're going to come back and see, does it work for us or does that not work for us? Okay, you all may agree. I'm not knocking it. Y'all do y'all. Like I said, what goes on within your house, that's you. I'm not dictating, but I have to bring warning when I hear something from God or show you the flags of what could happen or what might not happen. We strong, we fortified as a marriage. But number one, why do you want to have open marriage? Why do you want to go out and, because when you say vows, it says forsaking all others. When you married, mama, daddy, he, she, they out the picture. It's between you and your spouse. So why do you want to have open marriage? What's going on for you to feel like you want to go out here and step out? What am I not giving you? Or what is that person not giving you? So you may know somebody or your friend, somebody, they may be doing an open marriage and they not telling you every single thing, but far as you know, outside looking in, they are still strong. They are still standing. If it's okay with them, okay, I'm not judging them. I'm not bashing them. They let them do them. But on the other hand, if you know who you are in God, whose you are in God, if you know what God has said concerning about your spouse, why throw that in your marriage? Because let me tell you something. The enemy always knows an open door or open portal. Genesis, when Eve, we don't know what was Adam and Eve. We don't know what the heck they was doing when the serpent came in. We know Eve, she was out here alone. Adam, where the heck he was at, I don't know. That lets you know the conversation, the communication was weak. She didn't fully receive when Adam was like, we ain't supposed to eat from that tree of good and evil. Okay, I hear you, but don't hear you. Let me go on over here. No, do you hear me? Are you listening? Are you listening to understand? Eve was not listening to understand Adam. Adam, okay. Wow, you listen, okay. I'm going over here, you go over here. Here come the enemy. Oh, you can try that. You can eat it. Oh, Eve like, we shouldn't eat that. Oh, you won't be destroyed. Go ahead. You're going to be just like God if you eat it. The enemy, he's very conniving and sneaky. And guess what? She gave into it, ate the fruit, and it destroyed them in generations and generations. So with that being said, a lot of times marriages can be not like this one, but it can be like this. Adam and Eve was like this. They wasn't like that. The communication was broken. The covenant was broken. The trust was broken because she didn't trust Adam to believe, okay, he said don't eat it, so I'm not going to eat it. So she fell in. There was no trust. There was no communication. Guess what? It severed. It broken. Now look, she gave in to the enemy. And a lot of times the enemy, and it looks good, it's shaped good, it feels good, oh, it's pleasurable. But the very moment that you give into it, you just open up that door for that serpent to come in and to destroy everything that you all was building, everything that you all was trying to establish, even generations. that you all was producing destroyed, gone. Why? Because that pleasure that you all wanted to have, or that thing that looked so good, is gone. And I won't go say it's gone, but now you may have to struggle a little bit more to get to it. So when she ate it, and guess what? If you look at your heart, your physical heart, if you look at the muscles of the heart, and look how the muscles in the heart goes, it's almost like a tree. The tree of life in the heart, physical heart, because your heart is shaped like your fist. But if you look at it, the muscles are shaped like a tree. The enemy will destroy the thing that's most vital to you. Will destroy the thing that's most important to you. What is that? Your heart. If I can get to your heart and destroy your heart, I got you. I got you. I'm talking about in a marriage. If I can get them, the enemy, to destroy your heart, I could sever everything that God is trying to allow you to establish. That's why when the serpent deceived Eve, he got to her heart. He got to her. It severed everything. It tainted future generations. And a lot of times you have to be mindful in your marriage or in your relationship who to let in and what to let in, because you want, we're going to try this for 90 days or 4 weeks. We're going to open the door a little, just a little bit. We ain't going to fully open. We're going to open it. But the very moment that you crack that door, the enemy going to flood right on in. And you possibly could have severed everything that you tried to build. So what I'm trying to say to you all is, if you're thinking about it, please pray about it first. Have more conversations about it. Pray about it. Like I said, people got their different opinions about it. But Genesis, you see what happened to eat. It was broken. Communication, trust, and look, when the enemy found that open door, he got her. So when you have a strong trust foundation, when you have a strong communication foundation, relationships between you and your spouse, and when you all on the same page, no one over here sneaking off doing this and doing that, and everybody know what someone is doing, you're going to stand. You're going to stand. You're going to stand. Now, some may say, well, I just not hitting. Okay, that's you. But at the end of the day, like I said, I'm not on here trying to judge nobody, and I'm not saying don't do it. I'm not saying that. Like I said, what you do in your house, that's y'all business. But I'm warning you. I'm sending a warning, or I'm giving you the possibility what could happen or what could not happen. You know, Adam and Eve. I don't want to get too deep in it, but as doing research and as studying, Adam and Eve, they were helpers. So if you go back to Genesis, God told Adam, he said, I'm going to send you a helper. Words are very important when you read. Words. Helper. God's helper. Not a helpmate. Not a soulmate. But a helper. Helper. God's helper. A lot of people miss that, but I don't want to get too deep. So I'm gonna transition a little bit. So we were talking about open relationships. So open relationship, it can make you or break you. But like I said, do not give an open door to the enemy, because the enemy is looking for open. And a lot of you that are maybe tuning in or watching, everybody that views Line of Judah is anointed and blessed. I don't care what nobody say. If you're viewing, you are chosen by God. So the enemy is looking after to devour you and destroy you, no matter what you do. No matter what you do, how you do it. So let's switch a little bit. So what happens when you're in a marriage and, Lord, your spouse just don't want to do nothing? I mean, something it's dead. They don't want to have sex. Every time you bring it up, every time you're ready, I don't feel like it. Not tonight. Maybe some other time. Oh, I'm not in the mood. What do you do then when you hear those words? And I'm not talking about it's just once in a blue moon. I'm talking about now it's on a regular basis. It's been months. It's been over 6 months since y'all had a session. What do you do then? How do you respond then? That's why I said that communication is very important. What is it about them that's making them say, I don't feel like it? Oh, I'm tired. Not tonight. What is it? What's going on? Let's get to the root of it. So if you just brush it off, oh, okay, I'm gonna go out here and just get with so and so. This person been looking at me. They are throwing hints. So forget what they talking about. He be fine and she be fine. No. Couch comments. That's why I said that communication is strong. Okay, let's sit down and talk. I'm talking about deep talk. Make that atmosphere comfortable. Okay, what's up? What's going on? And I'm not saying go into that person argue, because you're gonna feel some type. I will feel some type of way if you reject me, because don't nobody like to be rejected. But when your own spouse is rejecting you, that can tear down someone's self-esteem. That could tear down someone's confidence. When your own spouse, the one that should be your number one cheerleader, supporter, back you up, reject you, and they're not giving you any explanation. They're not giving you anything. They just cutting you off. Okay, let's talk. When you have that conversation, not going hostile, not going and arguing, not going and screaming, yelling. Okay, let's sit down and talk. Body language says a lot. Your words, the way you word certain things says a lot. It says a lot when you're talking to your spouse. So like I said, make it uncomfortable. So it's okay in that moment. Let's redefine our marriage. Let's redefine what's the norm for us. Let's redefine it. Let's sit down and talk. However that looks like to you, that's you. That's you. But at the end of the day, let's make healthy choices too. Let's make healthy choices. But what happens when you hear those words? The enemy will start, oh, so-and-so was on Facebook. They inbox you and, they feeling it. They got a high sex drive like you. It's okay to hit them up. Go on. What they sound like? The serpent with Eve, right? Adam, they doing his own thing. Oh, it's not going to destroy you. Okay. Sweetheart, I'm going to the store. I'll be back. Or I'm hanging out with my homegirls. I'll be back. I'm going out hanging out with my home dudes. My homeboys. We're going to a bar for a few hours. I'll be back. Okay. You gone. You out there doing you. Nah. And a lot of people are doing that. I'm trying to get y'all to understand. Communicate. If you all communicate, you cannot go on common ground with that area, and that person's not trying to see what you're trying to see, or you're not seeing what that person sees. Sit on someone's couch. Go to counseling. Go to therapy. It's just before you just throw it all away, because you have to get back to the point. What brought you all together from the get-go? What brought you all together from the get-go? What spark? What set that spark? What united that fire? Now, if we were just lust that united that, you may want to rethink that, man. Because God may not be in there. I'm just being honest. Some people do get together because they just was horny, lustful. They didn't want to be out of sin, of having fornication. So they went on and got married, and boom. Okay, we married, but I don't feel like it. And guess what? We are involving humans. We are involving every day. We change. So if you have a high sex drive now, later on down the road, your sex drive may die out. I'm just saying, for other people, it may not be the case. Your sex drive may catapult when you get older. People are different. So if you just get in it of a marriage because you horny and you just want to have sex, that's not marriage ordained by God. It's not going to work, and it's not going to prosper. You just win it. You just jumped in it. So that's why I say authentic communication is key, and it's very important. So if you find out later on down the road, well, babe, why you not want to have why we can't be intimate? That person don't even want you to touch them. I'm talking about like that. Automatically, you're going to think that person is cheating. You don't need, I'm trying to hug you. You resisting. What's up with that? You pushing me out. What's up with that? Before it get to that point, before you start feeling like that, before you start, talk, communicate. I'm trying to save you all for unnecessary heartbreak and failure. If you feel like it's not working, it ain't working. All right. I don't promote or magnify divorces. I don't. But you got to know that you know before you get in it. Before you get married. Conversations like that has to be taught before you get married. I don't care. Well, I know we dating right now. Later on in your dating experience, how do you feel about having an open marriage? What's your opinion about that? Oh, I'm real big on that. Okay, that person said they real big on that. Now, that gives you the opportunity to make your decision. Okay, but that person said they real big on it, so it may be a chance that when you get married, that person may want to experience that. You ask questions, you talk. But a lot of times we avoid questions like that. We avoid finances. We avoid have someone credit score. We avoid how they handle money. We avoid all of that before in dating. And I'm not saying the first week of you dating somebody. No, months. When you start getting comfortable with that person, when you have date night, when you have conversation, just talk. Oh, I don't want a kid. Okay, well, I can't do this. That's a deal breaker. I want a kid, but you don't. But people get into marriage. Okay, when you get married, well, let's have a kid. No, I told you from day one I didn't want a kid. So what makes you think that's gonna change my mind? Well, I thought I could change your mind. No, you can't change nobody. You can't change nobody. How they think, how they feel, how they view things. You can't. You can't. So I'm saving you all heartbreak. So I'm pushing. You need to commit. You all need to communicate. Listen to understand each other. Don't be out. Try not to argue. And guess what, man? My marriage, we do the same thing. Beginning, it was rocky. I had the opportunity, and I'm just put myself on here, and I don't know, leading gentleman gonna probably shout on this because I admitted it. I want you to be on my side most of the time. If Juwan Brown don't get his point of view, I get loud. No, I'm gonna get loud. I'm gonna stay loud until you understand. Until I get my point across, until you view what I see, I'm going to stay loud. You see how I'm loud? I'm going to stay loud. And that's something I had to work on. I'm getting much better on it. See, I can admit I'm very transparent. I can admit. And it showed a lot. It showed a lot when we got married. But I want you to, and instead, okay, calm down. If you're not seeing my point of view, if I'm not seeing your point of view, let's come back to the conversation. Let's put a pause here. Let's put a bookmark here. Let's come back. Let's do something fun. Let's go walking. Let's cook. Let's enjoy. Let's do something because I don't want this conversation to begin an argument. Let's stop, put a pause, then we'll come back here later. Let's pray about it. Let's sleep on it. And guess what? We have done that so many times. We came back and we're like, you know what? You were right about that. Or I may say, you know what, babe? Yeah, you were right. I was wrong. Because it gave me time to process what the conversation was about, that communication. We just didn't put a pause there and say, and we never came back to it. And guess what? We got something unresolved that we should have been resolved. And guess what? Something else popped up. And it was an issue in that. And guess what? We got all these unresolved issues. No. Before this become a big deal, we're going to come back to this. But guess what? We're going to give each other 3 days. The third day, we're going to come back to this topic. Or a few hours, whatever the topic is. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about it. And guess what? We did that so many times and it helped. It helped. And we was like, man, I had to sleep on that. Man, I had to pray about that. And guess what? God intervened. He answered a lot of our questions. But I had to work on me not get so hostile. Because that came from issues in my past that I had to deal with. But I had to learn, Juwan, calm down. Those of you all that know, I'm just putting myself, I can go from 0 to 100 just like that. And it may shock y'all because I'm quiet, soft-spoken person. Those of you all that just know me outside don't really know me like that. But no, you get to know me. I go from 0 to 100 real quick when you don't see my point of view. That's some of my struggles. I'm not admit that. I'm going to admit that that's some of my struggles through counseling, through talking to people that are certified to help me in those areas. I had to deal with that. Jawan Bryan had to deal with that. But guess what? I'm not 100% there yet, but I'm 80% there. Much better than it was day one in our marriage. For first year in our marriage. Much better. Marriage will allow you to see you. Not just that individual. It will shine the light on everything that you thought you mastered. You be like, oh, I ain't mastered this. That's what I'm saying. Communication. Allow the atmosphere be comfortable. So, I don't want to spend too much time on that, but I'm just going to touch on gender roles. Those of you all that are religious, you go by, you may say, well, I go by the Bible. I believe I'm just going further. I believe in traditional marriages, man and woman. I believe the structure of family, God, man, woman, children, slave. I believe that. And who set that up? Paul did. Paul set up a structure of marriage, of how a marriage should be or how a marriage should look. And the reason why Paul was so stern and strict on marriage is why? Because in his time, he thought Christ was coming back in his time. In his head, some form of fashion, he thought Christ was coming back in his time. So that's why he had the structure. Look, we're going to have this structure because we about to be up out of here. He about to crack the sky and come back. And guess what? Thousands and 2,000 years has passed. Christ still ain't come back. We know he's coming, but Paul had this mindset that no, he's coming back now in our lifetime. And the scripture that Paul, a lot of people use that pretty much tainted and messed up a lot of lives when he says it's better to marry than burn. And he said in 1 Corinthians. Why did he say that? What does that mean? And you'd be surprised how many people throw that out to people. Well, you better be married and burn. If you horny, you better go home and get married. Just don't. If you can't hold it, if you can't be celibate, go and get married. You will destroy someone's life with that. And I'm going to explain why. There has to be a level of self-control within self. If you know you are a horny person and you just, that has to be a level of boundaries within yourself. Because if you can't have boundaries with yourself or self-control with yourself, there's no way that you're going to be able to have boundaries within someone else within a whole marriage. If you can't control yourself, you may want to stay single. And that's why I say they messed this. Paul, we got to think what he was thinking in his time. What does that mean in the 21st century? I'm not going to go out here and tell anybody, well, you horny. Well, you horny. You want to go out there and be married. You better be married and burn. I'm not going to tell anybody just going to get married because they want to have sex. No, you're going to jack someone's life up. What did Paul mean when he said that? Why did he say it? Because a lot of times you may be telling the person, well, you better go and get married and burn. You may be telling the person that God has never ordained or intended for them to be married. But you told them to hook up with somebody instead of them saying, well, since you're horny, go in there and take you a shower. A cold shower. Go in there an hour. I don't care if it's 2 hours. Go in there and take you a cold shower. I'd rather for you to do that than go out here and marry somebody and mess up their whole entire life. You brought a kid in the world. Now, your marriage is just jacked up to the floor. Why? First, God didn't ordain that. You just got married because of lust. You just got married because of the look. You didn't get married because of the heart or the compatibility or because God said or because God put y'all together. You just did it out of place of flesh. Because Paul said, what did God say? Because Paul was very opinionated as well. If you read some of his letters, and if you read some of the things that he wrote, he was very opinionated. Was that Paul? Was that God? A lot of times when we read, and I'm just throwing this out here, when you read, you got to ask yourself questions. place, timing is everything. Culture, place, timing is everything when you read script. But I'm talking about Paul when he said this. Paul was thinking about his time. Mind you, Paul was never married. He was celibate. He was celibate. So what do we do with that? What do you do when you in a marriage? You burning. I'm married and I'm burning. I'm still not being satisfied in that area. What do you do? So I'm following the word. Paul said, "Be married and burn." I'm married, but I'm still burning. I'm married and ain't helping. Those are the questions that some people have, and I'm just being honest on today. I'm just being honest. So all in a nutshell, marriage should always be redefined between your household, what's working and what's not working. But at the end of the day, make wise decisions, make wise choices. And this message is probably for the young people. It's young people. Because I'm tired of people coming to me and it's getting aggravating when people, well, we tried it and we're on the edge of divorce. Pray about it. But remind you that open door. Don't give no place to the enemy. And like I said, everybody that's viewing is not Bible-based sound. But I want to give my best opinion on things that may help you. But at the end of the day, communicate. That's all I'm saying. That's all I said. Like I said, people may just believe in the boundaries, man, woman, traditional marriage. That's your belief. If not, at the end of the day, I can't judge any of you. And any of you can't judge me. We all got to give an account before God one day. I don't know what God has shared things with you. I don't know. Like I said, a lot of times you can hear it with God. I hear you, but I'm reading your word, and I know you're not going to tell me anything contrary to your word. But what I'm reading is, Lord, you're going to help me with this because I'm struggling with it. Go to God. Ask him more questions. Spend more time with him in that area that you are struggling with. And I'm telling you, he gonna help you with that, because there's been many questions that I've had in my marriage and just in my personal walk with God, that, Lord, you're going to have to help me with this. You're going to have to help me. So, like I said, I'm very transparent. But when it comes to open marriages and open relationships, I'm not saying do it, and I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just throwing out statistics, facts, and I want you all to be safe, and I want you all to survive. I want you all to make it. Those of you all that are married, that are young couples, to make communication. I'm going to say that communication is key, and it grows over time. Me and my marriage, we communicate, but it's not at the level that it should be. Why? Because we are involving. Once we be married 10, 20 some years, it's going to be stronger than what it is right now. But guess what? We have to put the work in. We have to put the work in. Everybody is not equipped. And some may argue with this, but I believe that everybody is not equipped. To those of you always say, well, I don't think I ever be married because I just don't have the desire. And people may say, no, you're wrong with that, because the Bible says man should not be alone. And we misquoted that. None of us should be alone, actually. None of us. God didn't make us alone, but does that mean marriage? Everybody is not equipped to be married. So if you got that type of person that just want to dip and dab, and you can't stay faithful to that one person, then go on and have your freedom right now. And 5-10 years later on, you still like that. I just can't. I'm just not meant for nobody. It's okay. Don't let nobody condemn you. And I'm not trying to project you go out here sleeping around. I'm not saying that, but some people just got this persona about themselves. I can do better just being me, not married by myself. I'm doing well. Yeah, I got friends. I have companionship, which is my friends. But as far as me being commitment, that's not me. It's okay. It's okay. Mind you, Adam told Eve, help her. That was his helper, not his help me. I know I'm going to mess somebody up. God's helper. You can have a helper, right? God gonna send you many helpers, but it's okay. Matthew 19, Jesus talks about a unit. He said some were born like that, some were made by men, and some was units because they wanted to be, far as they wanted to be single for the glory of God. Some people just not meant to be married. They meant to be by, I won't say by themselves, but they meant to just be them. And it's okay. It's okay. If that's you, it's okay. God made us all different. He made us all different. So I don't want to waste any more time. I really want to talk about gender roles, but I'll talk about that another day, because I don't want to waste. I have to get more deep when I do talk about gender roles, how they compare into marriage. And a lot of people may disagree with that, but I don't want to, because I have to show you and get deep in that. But today I just don't have the time to do it. But I pray this session bless you. Something was said. I don't care if it was one word. Bless you. I pray that it bless you and it help you some form of fashion. Those of you that had the desire to be married, just look. I pray to bless you right then and there. I just pray it help. But like I said, I'm not traditional. Stuff out here is real. People are doing it. I'm not going to be one of those people that's not going to talk about it. You have many people in the church that's doing it. Well, my pastor taught this. Or my pastor said, how you know your pastor and the first lady or the first gentleman, whatever the role is, don't have an open relationship. They just not publicly about it. You don't know what's going on behind other people closed doors. You don't know. You don't know someone's chapter. You don't know someone's story. All you see is them once a week, twice a week. You pray that they doing okay. Unless some of those of you out there that's prophetic, you could see behind all the layers, but you don't know what the individual's doing behind closed doors. But then you wonder why people in the church is getting divorced at rapid rate in your facility. This person got divorced. That person got divorced. Why the divorces random rapid in this church? What's the head doing? Well, it seems like pastor and first lady or pastor leading gentlemen, they seem like they doing good. That's what they want y'all to believe, but we don't know what's going on behind the scene. We use the scripture that the anointing from Aaron's beard flowed down. The anointing flows down to everybody, but we fail to realize sometimes when you're tainted, it can flow from headship on down. So what you're feeling, what you're experiencing in your marriage could be very well what your leader and their spouse is dealing with in their marriage. Why? Because you're under them. What they experience is going to flow from the head on down. And the very people that they are close to, they're going to get hit first. That's why I said follow God, not man. And I'm not saying don't be in nobody cover, but God is your first priority, main covering. Period. God is your covering, not man. God is. So follow God. Whatever he's telling you to do it. Do it. Do it. So I just wanted to bring awareness to that today. You know, the consequences of stepping out. But if you watching this, you have an open marriage, you've been in it, and you're successful. I'm not judging. I'm not knocking. I wish you all the best, to be honest. And like I said, those of you all that have your beliefs, amen. I wish you the best as well. But can we just be on the same page? It's okay to disagree. It's okay to agree to disagree, because people are doing it. It has become more prevalent in this generation as well. People are doing it. So I pray this bless you, help some of you all on today. Continue to tune in. Like I said, this is a heavy topic. I knew it. This topic today was not going to be good for some of y'all, but I pray it help you and bless you all on today. With that being said, here at Judah Foundation, we love each and every one of you all. As you see, we're not a church per se, but we're going to have topics that's going to help you, that's going to enlighten you, that's going to enrich you, that's going to push you further into your purpose, into your destiny. With leading gentlemen and now, we are elated and excited of what God has in store for you and was about to do in your life. Like I said, I'm studying. I'm a nerd because every day, literally every day, I got a book coming in through Amazon or through FedEx. A book just rolling through. I'm a nerd. Books. I'm reading. I'm researching. I'm digging deep. I'm redefining a lot of things that was poured into me as a child. Not throwing it away, but I want to enhance that. Okay, yeah, this is right. This wasn't. So every day I got a book coming in. Book coming in because I'm reading, I'm researching, I'm studying. I'm studying to show myself approved every day. That's the level I'm on. And guess what? If the Lord say share that, I'm gonna share it with you. If the Lord said no, not right now, then I'm not gonna share it with you. So be blessed, y'all. I encourage you all. Know God for yourself. Have that relationship with God. At the end of the day, pray about it. Pray about it. Pray about it. Pray about it. First, have the communication with God. Because if you can't have a communication with God, you're going to have a hard time having a communication with your spouse or people that's around you on a daily basis. God would direct you. He would direct your path in all your ways. Pray about it. If you're on the edge of the topic we had today, thinking about indulging in that, pray about it. I'm not going to tell you what God wants. That's between you and God. Between you and God. Between you and God. So I pray each and every one of you have a blessed day. Enjoy this weekend. Rest. Join us Monday for our Monday Night Manna. Until next time, grace and peace. God bless. I love you all. God bless.